Ticket to Paradise is a recent romantic comedy starring some of the most famous actors in the world, George Clooney and Julia Roberts. Although the movie did not necessarily receive critical acclaim, it has been well enjoyed by many moviegoers, grossing $100 million worldwide since its release. It premiered in Barcelona on September 8th, came to theaters in the United Kingdom on September 20th, and made its way to the United States a month later on October 21st. The plot centers primarily on David and Georgia Cotton, played by Clooney and Roberts respectively. They play a divorced couple whose marriage ended 20 years earlier. Both of them greatly regret their marriage when they find out their daughter Lily, played by Kaitlyn Dever, has fallen for a young Balinese man named Gede, played by Maxime Bouttier. They see their past in her love affair. When she announces they will be getting married only 37 days after meeting, Cotton's plan is to sabotage their daughter's wedding to prevent her from making the same mistakes they did. Neither Clooney nor Roberts are strangers to the rom-com world, or for that matter, strangers to working together either. Some of Clooney's rom-com appearances were In One Fine Day and Intolerable Cruelty. Roberts herself has starred in some of the genre's most iconic films, Notting Hill and Pretty Woman, just to name a few. In terms of working together, the two actors have shared the screen a total of 5 times before Ticket to Paradise. They both starred in the Ocean's trilogy together, as well as Confessions of a Dangerous Mind in 2002 and Money Monster in 2016. Because of their history in the romantic comedy world and their well-documented on-screen chemistry, it seems like Ticket to Paradise is a film decades in the making. The film was directed and co-written by Ol Parker, who is best known for his work on Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Plenty of research went into Balinese customs to make the film as accurate as possible, even though it was filmed in Australia. Parker was certain from the beginning about his casting choices, being sure that Roberts and Clooney were the perfect choices for the film. Parker cites Clooney and Roberts' past on-screen chemistry in films like Ocean's 11 as evidence of their ability to work together and to make moviegoers root for them together. He also says that their real-life friendship leads to audiences being invested in the movie before even seeing it. Another role that Parker had cast in his mind from the very beginning was Kaitlyn Dever, playing the daughter of the family Lily. He wrote the role for her because he has said she is a once-in-a-generation talent and just the nicest person. In fact, some more minor roles in the movie were given to non-actors. Gede's father in the film was originally hired as a cultural consultant and given the role for his good looks and innate acting ability. Gede's mother was also discovered as a passport officer from Brisbane. These non-actors give the film a genuine charm that is not often seen in such major productions. From here on, this video will contain major spoilers, so please consider yourself warned. The film ends with David and Georgia's attempt to sabotage the wedding ultimately being unsuccessful. Lily and Gede end up happily married. Georgia ends up turning down her boyfriend Paul's proposal, which comes after she shares a kiss with her ex-husband and co-conspirator David. David and Georgia end up deciding to stay in Bali for a while, hinting at the fact that their romance may be resuming after 20 years apart. There is much to get into below the surface here, including why Georgia decided to decline Paul's proposal. Without further ado, this is the ending to Ticket to Paradise explained in detail. The first detail we will be examining is why Georgia and David decided to get divorced in the first place. As with any divorce, even those on screen, there are a large number of factors at play. The couple in Ticket to Paradise was only married for 5 years before deciding to move forward with their divorce. Georgia began to feel like the marriage was robbing her of her individuality and that her identity was fully wrapped up in only being a wife to David and a mother to Lily. She felt the only solution to this was to leave her marriage. David, on the other hand, began to feel disillusioned because his and Georgia's life didn't turn out how he imagined it. The couple bought a lake house together, which caused financial strain. The house is a perfect metaphor for the couple's failing relationship, as David feels like all their problems will be solved if he puts in enough effort to fix it. This, of course, was not the case. The couple continued to fight, which eventually led to their divorce. The couple, like many in real life, held on to resentments from their relationship and carried on their fighting for years after their divorce. Next, we must understand why it is that David and Georgia held on to their anger and have continued to be at odds for so many years after their divorce. Their relationship in the movie is tense and competitive. They can hardly stand to be together, and when they are, they inevitably begin arguing and insulting each other. Even at a joyous occasion, like their daughter's law school graduation ceremony, the couple couldn't help but begin bickering. With 20 years of anger and resentment built up, it seems like the couple will never be able to see eye to eye again. Ultimately, is their lack of honest communication that has sent the couple into such a rut of disdain for each other. It is much easier to hold each other at arm's length instead of actually discussing their feelings about each other and their past relationship. This is why their plot against their daughter is what ends up bringing them back together. They're forced to cooperate instead of needlessly being at each other's throats. Their time together allows them to discuss how they actually feel and break through years-old barriers that were keeping them apart. The conversations they have throughout the movie are what lead to them overcoming many of their issues together. So why is it that David and Georgia try to sabotage their daughter's wedding? Although they can't seem to agree on anything, the couple can come together in agreement that Lily's marriage to Gede is a huge mistake. Even though on the surface they seem supportive, David and Georgia are plotting from the start to put an end to the wedding. Because of how their marriage turned out, they project their troubles onto Lily and interfere with her life in an attempt to protect her. Although this is a flawed plan, they see themselves as doing good by their daughter. Although they may disagree about pretty much everything, their daughter's well-being is one thing they remain together on. In the climax of the movie, Georgia ends up saying no to her boyfriend Paul's proposal. Why is this? There are several layers to this plot device. First, it seems to show Georgia's hesitance to rush into another marriage after how messy her relationship with David ended up. Secondly, it seems that she doesn't think she can be herself around Paul. Finally, and most importantly, she still has lingering feelings for David. Georgia cared for Paul, but there was something that kept her from marrying him. Because of her past experience, marriage just wasn't something Georgia was ready to jump into. Being around David so much seemed to remind Georgia of her past feelings of real love, something she just didn't feel for Paul. The major question left unanswered in Ticket to Paradise is whether or not Georgia and David would end up truly reigniting their love affair. After sharing a kiss and Georgia turning down Paul's proposal, it certainly seems like this is the case. The film chooses not to spell this out for the audience and instead allows them to draw their own conclusions. Georgia and David end the film by deciding to spend some more time in Bali together, exploring their newfound relationship. If Lily and Gede's happily ever after moment is any indication, it seems like a safe bet to assume that David and Georgia will stick together for good. However, it's always possible the couple is just testing the waters, and based on their history, maybe taking it slowly is their best bet. The film shows that despite David and Georgia's multiple decades of relationship turmoil, it's never too late to give a promising romance another try. Now that the two people are older with more life experience and Georgia's more settled into her own identity, maybe their relationship will be much more fulfilling in the present than it was in the past. However, the filmmakers intended the ending to be interpreted. Ticket to Paradise is a feel-good story with an undeniably happy finale. So there you have it, my friends, the ending to Ticket to Paradise explained in full. Have you seen the film yourself? How do you think it stacks up compared to Clooney and Roberts' other films? Do you think it will go down as an all-time classic rom-com or just another film in the genre's already massive catalog? Let us know all your thoughts on the film in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.